Good morning. We bring you the latest on former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte's battle at the International Criminal Court in The Hague, where prosecutors are pushing back hard against his plea for temporary release. Citing his history of defiance, threats of violence, and deep-rooted political power, the ICC's prosecution says letting Duterte walk free, even briefly, could jeopardize justice itself. On June 12th, Duterte's legal team filed an urgent request asking the ICC to grant him interim liberty, citing his advanced age of 80 and alleged health concerns. They argued he should be released to an unnamed member state of the court outside of the Netherlands and the Philippines under strict conditions. But prosecutors from the Office of the Prosecutor, or OTP, responded swiftly and firmly. In a 15-page filing dated June 23rd, Deputy Prosecutor Main Mandie Niang argued that Duterte's own words and actions disqualify him from such consideration. According to the OTP, Duterte has consistently refused to recognize the legitimacy of the ICC's proceedings. When arrested in March at the Villamar Air Base in Manila, he reportedly resisted authorities and warned of a potential shootout. He is also quoted as saying ICC officials would just have to kill him. These are not the statements of a man likely to follow court orders, prosecutors say. They argue that Duterte's behavior on the day of his arrest and his previous threats undermine any claim that he can be trusted to return for trial if released. Prosecutors also highlighted an incident involving Duterte's longtime partner, Hanilit Avansega. During his arrest, Avansega allegedly struck a police officer on the head with a cell phone, causing injury. The altercation was seen as part of a broader pattern of resistance, not just from Duterte, but from those close to him. In the ICC's view, such conduct demonstrates a refusal to cooperate with lawful authority, further strengthening the argument against his release. Despite no longer being president, Rodrigo Duterte remains a towering figure in Philippine politics. His daughter, Sara Duterte, is the sitting vice president and a reserve colonel in the military. She has denounced her father's arrest as illegitimate and continues to enjoy strong ties with law enforcement and the armed forces. And in a recent local election, Duterte returned to the position he once held for decades mayor of Davao City, winning in a landslide. The prosecution argues this network of influence is dangerous. If released, they warn Duterte could use his power to intimidate witnesses, tamper with evidence, or mobilize supporters to interfere with the court's process. Duterte's defense claimed that the ICC had agreed, at least informally, to his interim release to a third country, but the prosecution categorically denied this. In their filing, they said, quote, "No agreement whatsoever was reached on conditions of interim release to any country other than redacted." They emphasized that no host country has been confirmed, and that even the suggested terms could not be practically or appropriately implemented. Rodrigo Duterte faces charges of crimes against humanity, specifically for thousands of killings tied to his brutal anti-drug campaign, dating back to his time as Davao City mayor and continuing through his presidency. The ICC's pre-trial chamber is scheduled to hold a confirmation hearing on September 23rd. There, judges will determine whether enough evidence exists to move to a full trial. Prosecutors maintain that Duterte must remain in custody, not just to guarantee his appearance, but to protect victims and ensure justice is served. With less than 3 months before his next hearing, Rodrigo Duterte's legal and political future hangs in the balance. As the ICC tightens its grip, the world watches to see whether international justice can hold a former strong man to account. Stay with us for continuing coverage.